Hello students, how are you all? I'm starting with the second chapter of geography, that is the name of the chapter is population part 2. My dear students, I'm going to divide this topic population part 2 in 3 videos. Okay, so in first video I will be covering the component of population composition, that is the age structure. Okay, then we are going to see the 3 main types of population pyramids. Next I'm going to cover the sex composition or the sex ratio. Okay, and in that I'm going to cover the demographic dividend. Okay, so this all I will be covering in this first video. Okay, the remaining part I will be covering in the 2 videos. Okay, so let's begin with our second topic, that is population part 2. So my dear students, let's begin with the introduction part of our second chapter, population part 2. Students, we have studied in our first chapter, that is population part 1, that geography is a subject which studies the human and the interaction with their environments. We have also studied that the population is a part of human geography under the branch called population geography. And population geography studies human population and also its distribution and pattern on the earth's surface. That we have already seen in the first chapter, how the population is unevenly distributed in different parts of different countries. Okay, we saw different factors responsible, that is man-made factors, okay, responsible for such type of uneven distribution of population. So today in this chapter we are going to see that the population is considered as a human resource, because we saw in the first chapter that it is studied under the branch called population geography. We are also going to see that the physical and intellectual characteristics of the population, how they affect the development of a particular regions. My dear students, the development of a region is dependent on how human resources are used, like other natural resources. Okay, there are certain human resources, how they are used, like the natural resources. Okay, depending on that resources, the development of regions take place. The human economic activities also develop with a reference to human resources. In fact, my dear students, if human resources are not developed, the use of resources also gets affected. And by considering these factors, by considering these issues, the population structure, the sex ratio, the literacy rate, etc. are studied in population geography. So my dear students, just keep in mind, human geography, that is a study of various human resources under the under geography, under population, is studied under the branch called population geography. Okay, so the human resources affects the development of regions, and there are certain factors. By considering that factors, the development of regions takes place. So students, now we are going to see population composition. So under population composition, we are going to study age structure, sex composition, literacy and education rate. Also we are going to see occupational structure, and the last one is rural and urban composition. So first component under population composition is age structure. So my dear students, the age structure of a population refers to the number of people in different age groups. Okay, the age groups we can say like infants, children's, then the teenagers, the young people, then the young, that is the adult, and the old people. Okay, different age groups. The population is divided in different age groups. Each of the age group has a share in the population. And the population in age group changes. It is not fixed, it is not constant. It keeps on changing. The ratio varies according to the changes in different age groups. My dear students, now we are starting with the next topic, that is the three main types of population pyramids. We have started in the first chapter in the last part of the first chapter about the demographic transition model. Okay, we have seen the 5 different stages of demographic transition model. Okay, which plays a very important role in the distribution of population. So my dear students, this population pyramid is studied by the demographers. Who are the demographers? They are those people who studies the changes in the human population. They studies the statistical data, okay, about the changes in the human population. So students, they study this population pyramid, okay, to describe the age and gender wise distribution of the populations. If you look carefully on the graph, okay, or on the diagram which is displayed on the screen, you will come to know the y-axis in the center of the graph, it shows the age groups, while the x-axis, it shows the population or percentage of population in the specific age groups. Now look at the length of the bars. They shows the number of percentage of population. The left side of the graph, it represent the males, and while right side of the graph, it represent the females. The base, that is the bottom part of the graph, it represent the children population, while the apex position, upper position of the graph, it represent the old people. Okay, that is the aged population. My dear students, a larger size of population in the age group, say about 15 to 59 years, okay, they indicate the chances of having a larger independent working population. Okay, means say from age group 15 to 59, that we can call a working population, young people, okay, having a lot of manpower. On the other hand, if the number of children, say from age group 0 to 15 years, okay, if it is high, then the dependency ratio will also be high because they are dependent on the working population. Similarly, a growing population in the age group of 60 plus, that is aged people, old people, okay, so they indicates greater expenditure. If the old population is more, they indicate greater expenditure for medical and health facilities for the aged population. Okay, there is increase in expenditure for medical as well as for health facilities. So let's begin with the 3 types of population pyramid. The first one is expansive pyramid, the second one is constrictive pyramid, and the third one is stationary pyramid. So look carefully, okay, to the graph which is given on the screen. So expansive pyramid, if you look at the base of this pyramid, that is A1, okay, A pyramid. So the base is broader and while the apex is narrower. It indicates that when the age group of the people goes on increasing, okay, at that time the life of the people goes on decreasing, okay, at each stage. Means the birth rate is high and the death rate is also high. Okay, here why the death rate is high? We have seen the first chapter why the death rate is low. Why the death rate is high? Because there is no proper medical facilities. Okay, health facilities and medical facilities are not being proper, and because of that the death rate is high. People go on dying in this type of population pyramid. The second one is constrictive pyramid. Okay, the B1, B pyramid. So if you look at this pyramid, you will come to know the base gets narrower while the apex becomes broader. Okay, from the bottom you will see the base is narrower and the apex becomes broader. So this indicates the lower percentage of younger people. Okay, so we can call it in this pyramid, that is the birth rate is low. Okay, and if you will see the apex is broader, it means the aged people are more. Okay, so the death rate is lower, the birth rate is low and the death rate is lower. Okay, aged people are more. We can call in this stage there is proper facilities of medical and health. Okay, health and medical facilities are properly being allotted in this type of population pyramid. So the third pyramid is stationary, the C1. if you all will look carefully compared to the earlier two pyramid, that is A1 and B1, okay, you all will come to know that is a C pyramid, the structure is totally different. Okay, we cannot call this base as broader or narrower, or the apex as broader or narrower. It is mostly same. It is mostly equal, apex also and the base also. So in this stage, almost all the age groups have same percentage. Okay, age group from 0 to 100 have same percentage. So this pyramid, population pyramid, it indicates very low birth rate and very low death rate. The birth rate is also low, very low, and the death rate is also very low. So we can call, in this type of population pyramid, the population is hardly being found there. Okay, we have seen in our first chapter the country having the least population, that is Antarctica. So in Antarctica, why the population is low? Because the people cannot adapt to that type of temperature, the low temperature. Okay, so there are certain factors, because of that the population does not grow in particular countries, in particular region. Okay, so I hope you all have understood these three types of population pyramid, that is expansive pyramid, constrictive pyramid and stationary pyramid. My dear students, the type of age structure, keep in mind the type of age structure, it has a direct influence on the future of the nation, on the future of our country. Okay, for example, old age dependency as well as young age dependency, okay, they prove to be a severe burden on the economy of our country. On the other hand, if you all will see, the higher proportion of working population, it means that there is large number of manpower. Okay, if working population is more, means there is more manpower. Okay, and if the death rate is high, okay, it indicates that proper medical and health facilities is not there in that type of population pyramid. And if death rate is low or lower, it indicates more or proper facility or good facilities of medical, okay, and health facilities we can call in that such type of pyramids. So students, now we saw the three types of population pyramid. The same pyramid is displayed on the screen. A small activity is given to you all. Okay, so in this activity you all have to study this three pyramid and answer the questions which are being given below. Students, keep in mind such type of questions are going to be asked in your exam as per your new paper pattern. Okay, a graph will be allotted to you all, and by looking at the graph you all have to answer the questions which are being displayed. So my first question is, in which pyramid the number of children will be the least? Okay, compare the three pyramids, look carefully. In which pyramid the birth rate is low? You'll have to mention that type of pyramid here. My second question is, in which pyramid the number of old people will be the least? Okay, will be the least, that is old population is low or lower in which pyramid? The third question, which pyramid represent a young country? Okay, young country means birth rate is high, death rate is also high. Okay, means we can call here the population is increasing. Okay, but the aged population is not that increasing. Okay, the country is young. Fourth question, which pyramid represent a country with high medical expenditure? Okay, the pyramid, you'll have to refer the three pyramids and find out in which pyramid, okay, the age group such as 60 plus is high. Okay, that is the death rate is low. Why it is low? Because of high medical expenditure, proper medical facilities being allotted. Okay, so you will have to mention that type of pyramid here. Fifth question, which pyramid represent a country with a large manpower? Large manpower means a working population, say from age group 15 to 59. Okay, so by looking at the three pyramids, you will have to find out in which pyramid the working population is more. We have studied this earlier. Sixth question, which pyramid represent developing and developed countries respectively? By looking at the three pyramids, you will have to find out, okay, which pyramid it represent a developing country, means the country is still developing. Okay, say take the example of country like India, and developed country, take the example of a country like USA. So in which country, by looking at the pyramid, you will come to know, okay, which pyramid shows a developing country and which pyramid shows a developed countries. Okay, so I hope you all are clear with this, the three main types of population pyramids. Students, second component is sex composition. We have studied that the population is unevenly distributed in different parts of the country. It is distributed in different age groups, and the age groups varies. It keeps on changing. The ratio changes. It is not fixed in all the parts of the country. Okay, even by studying the population pyramid, okay, the population pyramid can also tell us about the number of women and men in various age groups of different countries. Okay, so the ratio, what is known as a sex ratio? The sex ratio is known what we can say, the ratio between the number of women and men in a population. Okay, means how many females are present, how many males are present, okay, in the total population. We come to know with the help of sex ratio. The sex ratio is calculated by using different formulas. So the formula is not same for all the countries. The formula changes according to country. Okay, each country has their norms. Okay, as per their rules, regulations, they have the formula to calculate the sex ratio. But in India, it is calculated by using the formula such as total female population upon total male population, and it is multiplied by 1000. That is, total female population present in a country, it is divided by total male population present in a country, and then it is multiplied by 1000. Okay, so by applying this formula, okay, to calculate sex ratio, we come to know that is the information about the status of women in a country. That is actual what is the ratio of total women present in a country. Okay, on average, we can say that the world population reflects a sex ratio of 990 females per 1000 males. So here we can say that the sex ratio is low. Okay, because the male population is more and the female population is less. The highest sex ratio in the world has been recorded in countries, okay, in different countries like Russia. Okay, now Russia, the total population of female was 1162 and the male population was 1000. Okay, so the female population was more as compared to the male population, and therefore the sex ratio was high. Okay, but the countries like India, China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, they have a lower sex ratio. Okay, as I told you earlier, on average in a continent like Asia, in general, I will say that a sex ratio of 990 females per 1000 males. Okay, the female population is less as compared to male population, and therefore we call it as a low sex ratio. Okay, so just keep in mind, sex ratio is used to find out or to get the information about total number of female, that is total number of women ratio present in a particular population or a particular country. Okay, and do not forget the formula. This sex composition or a sex ratio can be asked in the exam, okay, or it can be asked for MCQs also. Okay, it is an important point from the exam point of view. My dear students, our next topic, that is, it is a part of sex ratio, that is demographic dividend. You all may have heard the word dividend. It is a return or a reward given to the shareholders when the country is enjoying surplus or profit. Okay, a certain amount, that is say 6%, 10%, it is being given to the shareholders, okay, as a form of a dividend. So you all may be wondering in geography what this dividend stand for, that is demographic dividend. Okay, So it refers to the growth in an economy, how the economy is growing, okay, and what are the factors because of that there is growth in an economy, okay. So the changes in the age structure of a country's population, okay, because of the changes in the age structure of the population there is growth in economy. So my dear students, we know in country like India, okay, or take the example of any country, there is working population and there is a dependent population. Dependent population means what? The population which is dependent on the working population. Say from the age group 0 to 15. Oh, sorry, 0 to 14, because from 15 to 59 we call it as a working population. Okay, so the ratio between the working and non-working population, okay, it determines how productive the country is, economically how the country is productive, okay, by finding out the ratio between the working population and the dependent population. The higher the ratio, when the ratio is higher, it indicates that the contribution of the working population in the economy is also high. My dear students, we have seen demographic transition model. Okay, so when the population of the country goes through the demographic transition model, the fertility rate, the birth rate, the death rate, okay, also changes. Okay, it is not same. It keeps on changing always. So, my dear students, we have seen that. So students, we know that few birth rates are registered. Okay, so the number of dependent, okay, the dependent population on the working population is low, and because of that their contribution to the economy, that is they invest in different parts of the economy, okay, means they help in the contribution of the economic development, and because of that what happened, the per capita income of our country, okay, it also increases, and therefore we are being benefited, okay, in the form of dividend, that is in the form of demographic dividend. Now you all may be wondering that how we are being benefited in the form of dividend. We do contribute, okay. Students, just keep in mind, if the population, dependent population is less than the working population, so then what will happen, the working population will contribute more to the development of the economy, okay, and because of that what will happen, they will invest in different parts of the economy, and we are being benefited when the economy increase, there is a growth in the economy, we are being benefited by different dividend. So in this, economic benefit is in the form of dividend which benefits everyone in the economy. The benefits are not achieved automatically, okay. So the demographic dividend depends on whether the government policies, okay, whether the government implements the right policies in a particular country or not, okay. That is the form of dividend which we get when we contribute something, okay, from the government, okay. Say in education, in health, in research, okay, or any other field you all can take, how are we benefited from the government, okay, because we are contributing to the economy, okay. So we are being benefited as a form of dividend, so that is our dividend from the government, our benefits. Even the dividend depends on the level of schooling, the employment, the frequency of childbearing, and the economic policies on tax incentives, the health programs, the pensions, and the retirement policies, okay. So we are being benefited, or we are being given the dividend from the government, okay, because we contribute more. Why we contribute more? Because the dependent population is less and the working population is more. So therefore there is growth in the economy of a country. My dear students, has given on the screen, the demographic dividend in a country is visible in the following ways. How we will come to know that we are being benefited, that is we are being benefited from the demographic dividend. The first one is given here, the personal savings can grow and can be used to stimulate the economy, because people invest in many parts of the country's economy, and therefore the personal savings of the people increases. Why? Because the dependent population is low. The second one is, has number of children are less, parents can invest more in their education. Yes, because the dependent population is low, the parents can invest more in their education, and thus human capital is built. Yes. The third point is, has more women joined the labor force and become economically strong, they contribute in the country's economic growth. Yes, because we know that now women also are working, and because of that they are becoming economically strong. They also contribute to the development of the country's economy. Okay, and therefore there is growth in the country's economy. The fourth point is, per capita, that is a GDP, gross development product of a country, it increases because dependency ratio is decreased. Yes, because the dependency ratio is decreased, the working population can contribute more to the development of the economy, and therefore there is increase in the GDP of a country, that is a gross domestic product of a country, or a gross okay. So my dear students, in this topic or in this video we have covered what is known as population composition. Next we saw the age structure, okay, which is a part of population composition. Then we saw the sex ratio, which is also again the part of population composition. Okay, we also saw the three main types of population pyramids, okay, which is related to the demographic transition model. And we also saw the demographic dividend, okay, that is the reward which is given, which is being allotted by the government to us. Okay, so I hope you all have understood this chapter, okay, what I have explained. My dear student, the third point from the population composition, that is literacy and education. The fourth, occupational structure, and the fifth one, rural and urban composition. Okay, so I will be covering this in my next video. Thank you so much.